All right, welcome back to another video. Yeah, I know you might be looking at this video and I'm kind of cockeyed. Well, I'm actually in my bedroom just laying down on my bed because it's actually quiet in here. Why? It's a little noisy and rough out there with the wife and the kids. And of course, I can't record on my back porch like I normally do. Why? Because, well, I don't have a back porch light. That's one of the issues with this house that I'm finally moving out of. So, so this video here is going to be about Verizon and their shitty ass, crappy service. Okay? So, a handful of years ago, we had went from Sprint to Verizon. Okay? And let me give you a brief explanation why I went to Verizon from Sprint. At the time, now we're looking at, believe it or not, about 8 years ago. Okay, and I was already with Sprint for many years. And I kept on getting this, my bill for 4 phones at the time was only supposed to be 90 something dollars a month. That was it. Every time I got my bill, I started getting bills where it was $200-300, and I couldn't figure out why. I mean, I was an over-the-road truck driver at the time, so I called Sprint. They'd correct it. I kept on getting the same thing over and over and over again. I kept on calling them, and I told them one day, I said, you know what? I said, if you don't get it settled by tax time, I said, I am going to drop your service. I said, I'm not going to pay you no termination fee, and then I'm moving. And that's exactly what I did. So I went from Sprint at the time. I went over to Verizon. I want to give Verizon a try. So I bought 2 phones from Verizon. I believe at the time, both my phones were being financed at the time. I don't remember exactly. I want to say between, you're looking at 10 years ago, between the 2 phones and the service, I was probably paying something right around $100 a month, with the financing and all that stuff. So, again, I was an over-the-road truck driver at the time. Well, one day I'm at home, and I was upset about something. Matter of fact, I had a Note 4, and my wife had a Note 4. I don't remember what happened, but I was upset at something. I slammed my phone down, and I broke my phone. Now, anytime I have purchased a phone from anybody that I was financing especially, I always purchased the protection plan for, damage, accidental dropping it and breaking it, water, stolen, what. I have done that on every single phone that I had purchased, especially if I had financed the phone. So I bring the phone over. No, I call Verizon, and I told them what happened, and they said, "Well, you don't have a protection plan." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I purchased it for my phone and my wife's phone." I said, "I do this anytime I would have financed the phone." And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, but..." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "My damn phone is broken." She says, "Well, here's what you're going to have to do." And at the time, it was going to cost more money to fix the phone. She says, "Well, that phone's under contract." She says, "You're going to have to get another phone, but here's a caveat to this. That phone number had to stay attached to that phone because it was under contract. So in other words, I had to buy another phone, but I wasn't allowed to take the phone number and put it on a new phone. Okay? Because that phone was under contract. I mean, it didn't matter if I got a new phone. I said, well, why can't I just get a new phone, have it transferred over, and I'm still on the contract on the phone? Woman's like, it doesn't work that way. She says, you have to add another line in a new phone. I'm like, you're seriously? I said, so you mean to tell me I'm going to have 3 phones, 3 lines, but yet only 2 of them are really going to work because one of them, because I broke it and I can't change the phone number. She goes, yeah. She goes, you can't cancel the number either. I'm like, that's pretty effed up. So that was the start of my problems with these birds. I said, all right. So I went ahead. I got another phone because I was starting a 3rd line. I got a mediocre phone for like $100. I'm like, well, screw it. It's better than nothing, right? So I did, and that, of course, that just rubbed me the wrong way. I was quite pissed off about it from the get-go, but I'm like, well, you're the one that caused it, and now you got to pay the price for it. So again, I'm an over-the-road truck driver at the time. I'm not home all the time. And there were a couple of times, I like to say maybe 2 or 3 times, I got bills with a $60 extra added to the bill. And me being over the road and concentrating on driving, going to shippers and receivers, driving on the highway, getting my hours in, and then, parking at night, taking my 10-hour DOT break and all that stuff. It didn't dawn on me. So I just paid the bill. Now, grant you, I like some people, they've been late a few days, 3-4 days. At the time, I don't even think I was a week late on any of my bills. So when I finally get home, I decided to call them on this. And I said, well, what's going on? And the guy says, well, those bills that you got with the extra $60, he said it was a $20 reactivation fee because your phones were shut off for non-payment. I'm like, wait a second. I said, none of my phones had been turned off for non-payment. Said it might have been late a few days here and there. Said, but it's never been more than a week. Said, I don't even think I touched a full week. You know what the guy's response was? He said, well, even if we were thinking about shutting your phone off and we did not, he said, you were still being charged $20 per line. I said, oh, fucking really? I says, well, you know what? I said, guess what, cocksucker? I said, that as soon as I get the chance, I said, I am dropping your fucking service and I'm going back to Sprint. And what happened? Well, lucky me, or unlucky me, I got T-boned by a drunk driver. Yeah, I got T-boned by a drunk driver. I got pretty jacked up. As soon as my case settled, I went ahead. It was I was the happiest $700 that I had to pay Verizon because I canceled their service and told them to take their shit and shove it up their ass. I even took all 3 phones and gave them back to them. I went back to Sprint. I ended up getting a better deal with Sprint because I was a previous customer. Ain't that something? You leave them and then you come back and now they want to give you some better deals. And that's what I did. And I was with them until I went to T-Mobile. And I said, you know what? I said, I will never in my life have an AT&T, not an AT&T, a Verizon cell phone account. I said, they are the absolute worst. And what's even sadder, I can remember 2-3 years ago, they were talking, they were jacking their prices up. And you know what they said? They had the balls to say that they're remodeling their service more towards their business customers and not their regular customers. I mean, that's a slap in the fucking face right there. I'm sorry. You're going to mistreat they do have loyal customers, but you're going to sit there and they literally jacking up your rates. And they said that your new business model is, you're concentrating more on your business clients. When, what a lot of these cell phone companies don't understand, you're where you're at for a reason. You got to where you got because of your customer base. Yes, you started off small. Somebody started you, right? And you grew and you grew and you grew because of customers that have been loyal to you. And then that's how you pay them back. This is why I'll never go to Verizon. I don't give a shit if Verizon is the only cell service on the planet. I guess by then I wouldn't even have a cell phone. So there you go. That's my review on shitty ass Verizon. Peace out.